morning, everyone. Welcome to Eat Well, Be Happy. I'm Deborah.
Hi, I'm Nathan.
And we both have sweet tooth, so we decided we were going to make things that were sweet that you can serve for breakfast. We're going to be good. We're not going to serve them with whipped cream or ice cream. And if you want to do that in the privacy of your own kitchen, that's fine with us. We're going to be making an amaranth chia pudding with a rhubarb topping.
We'll do an oven-baked French toast topped with apple.
And then we're going to do a coconut kiwi custard. And we're going to use sunroot in that. And if you don't know what sunroot is, stay tuned because you're going to have fun learning. We're going to get the French toast into the oven first.
Right.
So Nathan, you have melted how much butter?
A half cup of buffalo butter.
Buffalo butter. And for those of you who don't know buffalo butter, it is really, really delicious. And you can see by this rumpled piece of paper that we've been making free and loose with the buffalo butter. It has a nice mild flavor. It's easier for lots of folks to digest, but use whatever butter you have. Or if you don't want to use butter and you want to use something else, olive oil, it's all good. All right, so we've got that. Oh, I'll try not to throw that at you. All right, so we have there half a cup of butter.
Maple syrup in?
Yep, so how much maple syrup are we using? We are using
4 tablespoons.
Yeah, because actually, if you're doing this at home, we're doing this recipe times 2. No, we're not, actually. Yes, 4 tablespoons of maple syrup. Forget what I'm saying. Just do what we're doing. All right, 8 slices of bread. And we have chosen a really nice sprouted grain bread. And why sprouted? Because it is easier on the digestive system. It's much more higher in protein and lower in the kind of stuff that a lot of people react to nowadays. But of course, the grain or the flours that the berries that they're.
I want to put this in first.
Right. Put in the maple syrup and the butter first.
All right.
So the bread will soak it up and it'll get a nice. Thank you, Nathan.
No problem.
It's always good to work with a buddy in the kitchen because you have somebody who can correct your mistakes, or at the very least, laugh at you.
Laugh with you.
Laugh with me, laugh at me. It's all. All right. So I decided to use a really big pan, and it looks like we may need to spread the bread around. So 8 slices of a sprouted green bread.
Right. 2 in here and 2 more.
And 2 more.
This one's a nice. There we go.
Looks good. All right. We've got the maple syrup and the butter on the bottom and our 8 slices of bread.
Nope, we need this still. We still need this.
All right, next, we're going to whisk a half a cup of milk.
Okay.
And we're using a whole milk. I always believe in using everything as close to nature, as close to the source as I can. So I would never have a skim milk in my house. Right? I mean, I love the taste of the whole milk for one thing, and I just believe it's a lot healthier for us to eat things the way they were put together by nature. So about a half a cup of milk, 4 farm fresh eggs, and
Yeah, I'll take your shells.
you're going to put them in my compost bucket.
I shall do that.
The garden at this time of the year just loves the compost bucket. We're passing, you like the, what is that where they, not a relay race, but something like that. Sorry. All right, so we're going to whisk in the 4 farm fresh eggs, and you want them to be farm fresh because you want them to be as high as nutrients as they can be. And the farm fresh eggs really do have higher amounts of all the good stuff. And I don't need to tell you what all that good stuff is. But you don't want factory farmed eggs that are cooped up in those little hens and treated so inhumanely, right?
Not at all.
Not at all.
We want happy chickens. Do you want the nutmeg and salt?
I
and
do. So we
cinnamon?
want about a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, a quarter of a teaspoon of nutmeg, and an eighth of a teaspoon of salt. And make sure you are using a good salt because you're worth it. All right, to that we're going to add another, I guess that's it. And then we're going to pour that on the eggs. You know what I'm afraid of? I'm afraid that the pan I've used is too big. And so we haven't swiggled the bread up nice and close and tight. So the egg and the milk mixture probably isn't isn't going to cover all this either. So it's going to be a little different. And if I were doing this again at home, or if you're doing it, make sure that your pan and everything is nice and tight. So I'm just going to try and put some on top of each piece of bread, so at least we
Okay.
stand a fighting chance. And I suppose if you weren't here watching, I might be working with my fingers and trying to mush it in.
You can do that. It's going in the oven.
Yeah. All right, are we going to slice some apple and put that on top?
Yes,
Is that our
indeed.
plan?
That's the plan.
And then we were going to put a little maple syrup on top, or are we going to wait for it to come out of the oven and put the maple syrup on top?
I think we should put the maple syrup on top now, and then maybe the
So
apple
maybe
slices on top.
maybe
of
the
that.
apple first and then the maple
Okay,
syrup.
that'll work.
You know, it's what you call improvisation. I like it when you sort of punt when you do things, and you can do that too. It makes it much more natural in the kitchen and much more fun. Ah, you don't like my knives. So I'm going to try and put about 2 slices on top of each.
Okay.
And I'm going to try not to get in the way of Nathan's fingers. I just think apples and French toast go really well together. And this is the way I would do it for a family. But if I were doing it for company, I might saute the apples with a little cinnamon and maple syrup and serve them as a kind of a sauce afterwards. Oh, we're running. Oh, let's use it all, Nathan.
Use it all? All right.
Yeah. And I have the oven set to 400 degrees, and when you put it in, it usually will take about 20 minutes to cook at 400 degrees. Actually, I lied. Today I have it set at 350 because we have something else going in that is temperature sensitive and does need to be at 350. So this will be, maybe a little soft when it comes out.
You want me to just put it all on there?
Yeah, put it
All
all
right,
on.
shall
or
do.
around. Excuse me, monsieur.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to drizzle the syrup on top of the apples. Nothing like pure maple syrup. And do make sure you're using pure maple syrup. If you've ever had pure maple syrup next to some of the maple syrup imitation maple syrups, just no comparison. Don't you agree? It's just,
I do agree.
you
Most
do agree.
definitely, yes.
And those of us from New England really do agree. So if you're not from New England and you don't have maple syrup in your home, just write us. You might persuade us to send you some. You might. All right, that's going into the oven, Nathan, right?
Yes, it is.
All right. Ta-ta. We thought we would do the amaranth chia pudding next.
You want this out of the way?
I
Or
think
on
how
top?
about if we put this right here? If you'll
Okay.
move that recipe for me.
Sure.
Okay. So we have a big pot here because we're doing this recipe ×2, so there's enough for you to come and have lunch with us. And I actually like to always make a double recipe because then I have it for breakfast for a lot of it. All right, amaranth chia pudding. We've never done this. We decided to live dangerously on the air.
Yes.
Amaranth is food of the gods, right? Food of the gods, supposed to have all kinds of wonderful antioxidant properties. And you can tell when you look at amaranth how teeny tiny it is. It's one of those 3 grains that is a complete protein. So we're going to be putting in, we're going to be cooking this, and we decided to use the cashew milk today to just experiment. I'm going to tell you the ingredients for you to use at home. Nathan is going to be doubling everything. So cashew milk, so we're going to be putting in 3 cups of milk of your choice. So you could use coconut milk, you could use almond milk, you could use cow's milk, you could use cashew milk, hemp milk, any of those. So we need all. So we today are doing
Makes
more.
sense. This is a quart, and there's going to be your 4 cups.
All right. You know, when I met Nathan, he told me he was a mathematical genius.
Oh, yeah, is that so?
Another 2 cups, Nathan, right? All right.
Another 2 cups.
All right. So you make this a lot in the store, or variations on
We
this.
do.
So Do you bring the milk to a boil first before, or to a,
No, we add all of the ingredients
all right.
at once.
So we have 4 cups already. Okay, so 3 cups when you're doing this at home. 3 cups. And then we're going to be adding, I'm going to say the ingredients you're using at home, a half a cup of chia seeds, and these happen to be white chia seeds as opposed to black. Difference between a Granny Smith apple and a Red Delicious apple, just different, slightly different flavor, I guess, slightly different color, I'm not sure.
Different
And
color, definitely.
Amaranth, that's for sure. Amaranth, they usually say to cook about 20 minutes, so we're gonna see if we can get away with 3 minutes.
All right.
All right, we've got our amaranth in there, our chia, and we're going to put in some vanilla stevia. And I think, how about if we put in a liquid vanilla stevia? Is pretty sweet, but not overly sweet. So you notice I'm putting the dropper in and I'm just squeezing. So I'm going to do 4. And then if we stir that and stick our finger in, we can taste it and see if it's sweet enough.
Okay.
So why don't you do that? All right, he's stirring. He's doing a good job stirring. What do you think?
I think it is sweet enough.
Too sweet?
No,
Okay.
you hit it right in the head.
So when you do it at home, if you're using a liquid stevia, just do 2 squirts. If you like more, you can do more. But I will also say that you can use another sweetener if you like. I mean, you could use honey, you could use maple syrup again. There are so many different sweeteners out there. I was trying to keep it for breakfast, sweet tasting, but still low caloric.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just going to put that there.
We have the hemp seed out first?
We had the hemp seeds, and I wasn't sure whether to put the hemp seeds in or to put it on top afterwards.
Let's hold off because we're trying the amaranth. We'll see how that works. And
Okay. And in the meantime, I think while you're stirring, I will probably cut the rhubarb.
Okay.
This is the first rhubarb from my garden this season, and I'm so excited. All right, I'm just going to trim these ends here a little bit. And we do know that rhubarb is nice and tart.
Okay, we're coming to a boil here, so I think we'll let it boil for a couple minutes.
Okay, do you want to turn down the heat just a
I
little
did
bit? to
turn
simmer?
down.
Okay.
A little bit.
So once the chia gets warm in the liquid, it should sort of start to absorb the liquid. Do you think those are too big? Should I cut them smaller?
I think we should cut them a little smaller.
Oh, phooey.
I'm sorry. Okay, we are starting to thicken here.
Oh, good.
Lovely.
Good, good, good.
All right, I turned this off because I think we are there.
All right. I had a letter from a woman in Oklahoma by the name of Pixie. She did not give me her last name, and so I can call her Pixie Dust maybe.
Sure.
But, Pixie said, how do you get up the courage just to try different things and to experiment? And I just go for it, Pixie. Yeah, don't worry about it.
All right, where would you like me to put this custard? Just set it aside?
I'm wondering if we could dish out a couple of portions and then we'll
Okay.
just put the whole thing. You don't think we need to keep cooking that a little bit on the stove, or is it, you think it's done? It's spitting at us
It
right
sure
now.
is.
So let's put it down really low. Or maybe we don't. We put it I mean, it's boiling, it's bubbling, and we don't want that. Once it comes to that, I think we want to then put it in the refrigerator and let it cool. So let's do that. Let's take it off and let's just put it in the fridge.
Okay. You want to just switch places here? Oh no, we need to get some sugar in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here. There should be room in there. Yeah.
Do you have a hot plate or?
We do need a hot plate. You're absolutely right. Here.
I don't want to wreck your fridge.
Yeah.
All right.
Smells good. Nathan,
Yes.
how about I grease these with the coconut oil and you dice another rhubarb there.
Okay.
To make the custard, and we have made a swap out, so you won't get cheated. You'll get to eat some of that for lunch right away too. But to make the custard, you can use all kinds of dishes, and you can see that yesterday I made it in this kind of a plate. But you know, today we're going to do it in this. You can use any kind of container you like as long as it's oven proof.
Oh, I like your cleaver. That's very nice.
You like my cleaver, huh?
Yeah.
So I am going to grease these containers with some coconut oil. Since this flan or this custard is a coconut kiwi one, so we'll keep it coconut. And I'm just sticking my fingers into this jar of coconut oil. Got the coconut oil on my fingers. And I'm just going to slide it around these containers. That's so that when the custard is out of the oven, it will won't stick. And I just want to remind everyone, don't be afraid of coconut. There are cultures it's the mainstay of their diet, or one of the mainstays of their diet. And should we just put that on? And yeah, so we're going to put in about half a cup of vanilla coconut sugar with the rhubarb, because rhubarb is really tart.
Yes, it is.
And we're going to sort of simmer that on there. I don't think we need any water, but let's just try it on a low heat and put it on the burner. 2, 4, 6, 8. The nice thing about coconut oil is that it's the closest thing, they say, to mother's milk. It has lauric acid, which is kind of antifungal. And it also has something called MCTs, which are medium chain triglycerides, which a lot of athletes use for energy and to help them burn the right kind of calories. And I could, if you weren't here, I would probably take this now and rub it all over my legs and all over my arms. I'm just ashamed to waste it, but right now I'm going to waste it because I'm not going to put it on my legs with you watching, and that's for sure. Okay, so we got our custard pans, they're greased, our rhubarb is cooking there, and we're going to make our custard in the food processor, but I meant to say the Vitamix, which I love, my super duper blender. We're going to put in 4 eggs. Nathan.
Yes.
Oh, you got the coconut milk open.
I did.
Oh, what a doll. Yesterday I struggled with that coconut milk container. Got a little piece of eggshell in there I can't quite get out. I'm hoping the Vitamix will pulverize it.
I'm sure it will.
This little machine goes up to 220 miles an hour. All right.
Wow.
4 good eggs. And 14 ounces of a full-fat coconut milk. And try and get one that is just coconut milk, nothing else. And this one is just coconut milk. No fat, nothing removed. Again, remember that you want that good fat from coconut. And because I'm going to cheat and I'm going to use this, even though we, measured out another milk, I don't assume anyone has allergies, so I'm just going to use the same one to measure right now. So we want 14 ounces. 14 ounces is just short of 2 cups, right? So I've done too many.
We're at 18.
Oh yeah, look at that. Sometimes I measure. With desserts, I usually do measure. Soup is forgiving, a salad is forgiving, desserts are not so.
Yes.
All right.
Bakers have to be very, retentive about things.
So we have our 14 ounces of our full-fat coconut milk there, and our 4 eggs, and we are now going to be putting in 1/4 cup of sunroot syrup. So sunroot, this is from the Jerusalem artichoke plant, and the reason this is even lower glycemic than coconut sugar. Coconut sugar is like a glycemic index of 30, whereas the white sugar is 100. This is even lower than that, and we discovered it has kind of a molassesy overtone, but we love it together with coconut and kiwi. Then it takes on kind of a south of the border.
Yes, indeed.
And this is also, it's from the sunflower family. I don't know if you can see how dark that is. I don't know. Can you see how dark that is? I'm not sure. So 1/4 cup. Not much. And then we're going to be putting in, using about 1/4 of a cup also and divided among these little cups. So I'm just going to just do that. And that when someone eats these, they'll become a nice sauce. Do you want to taste the Akon? Do you want to taste it by itself?
Sure.
So.
You a fan?
I love it. I mean, I'm a molasses fan too.
Yeah.
And the darker something is too, the more antioxidant it has. And I understand this one like molasses, has a fair amount of iron in it. Yeah. Well, not so much. 2% of your daily requirement of iron per 1 tablespoon. But still, that's pretty darn good. All right.
It's got a lovely flavor.
We've got our 14 ounces of coconut milk. We've got our 4 eggs, our 1/4 of a cup of sunroot syrup. Again, if you don't want to use sunroot syrup or you can't get it, Yacon, maple syrup, honey, all of the above are good. We have a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon and a 1/4 of a teaspoon of ginger. And then where's my chai tea? I have become absolutely addicted to this chai tea mixture. Thank you.
Not a problem.
And I love that it comes with this little bamboo spoon, but it has all these wonderful aromatics in there. So I'm using just a portion of that. And then we're going to put in, because I happen to have it, and again, if you don't, but it intensifies the flavor, a little coconut extract. And I'll put in about a half a teaspoon. And about a teaspoon of vanilla.
Oh.
And we're using a vanilla that is not only from real vanilla beans, but also doesn't have any gluten. And the only dessert we've made that has gluten so far is the French toast, and you could use a gluten-free bread. So about a teaspoon. And I mean, there are a lot of wonderful vanillas out there. I like this one because it does actually say, I don't know if you can see it, it says all natural, sugar-free, gluten-free. And so for me, that's kind of important. I mean, I had no idea that they make vanilla with sugar. I just had no idea.
They will cut corners, won't they?
All right, turning this little guy on, and we're just going to blend it for about 15 seconds. All right, there's our custard, alive and well before it goes into the dishes in the oven.
Okay.
Thank you for doing that. And when we put this in the oven, you know what I forgot to do is hot water. How about you pour that? I'll get the hot water going.
Okay.
Here. Yep. I have found when I make custard in the oven, you need to cook your custard in a water bath. So always put your dishes in a bigger dish, and then put the whole thing in the oven, and then put the hot water in. So I've just put my kettle up, and is that going to hold them all? You'll be able to fit the rest in, won't you?
You want me to use all of it?
Oh yeah, of course.
All right. There you go.
Don't you want a regular full portion? I know I do. If you'll open the oven, we'll put that in. Oops. Taste the rhubarb.
You want me to slice some of the kiwis?
Yes,
All right.
please. All right, we've got about 2 minutes left, so let's get ourselves organized here. I'm going to loosen the custard. And if I'm afraid I've made a mistake and it's not baked thoroughly, I will just bring this to the table, put the topping on, and let everyone spoon some out. But I'm hoping this one is going to turn out for you. So custard bakes in the oven about an hour at 350. And because, the one we just put into the oven was smaller containers, chances are it'll cook less. Need less time. right, wish me luck.
Good luck.
Ha!
There you go.
All right, we need kiwi on those
All
little
right.
guys to garnish it. Oh no! I just made a mess.
We'll cover it up with kiwis.
Okay. And I'm gonna put a little bit of sunroot syrup on there to make it look pretty. And just a little bit, just for some drama. A little too much drama. And you can do this however you like. We're just gonna put a bunch of it on the plate here on one side. Once that one is done, Nathan, I think that'll be enough because we're running out of time.
Okay.
As usual, I'll get the French toast. Coming through.
All right.
Let's get the maple syrup on that little puppy. I'm just going to do it from the air. Hopefully I won't do a glallop and anyone. You don't want to reach over me in the interest of time or under me? All right, we're going to get the pudding out. If you'll dish some of that out,
Okay, you can do
then
that.
I'm going to get some more maple syrup because I can't stand it. It's, you know, overnight that would be nice and thick.
Oh, yes, it would.
Now, I can say I'm never one to buy small amounts of things. Even if I live alone, to me, every house should have a gallon of maple syrup. What's a house without a gallon of maple syrup?
I agree.
Arr. Ah. Nathan, I think you should have a bite of this French toast before we invite everyone to the table.
All right.
Oh, does that look good? Okay, I'm gonna have a bite of that. And you're gonna have a bite of French toast. Mmm. Mmm. That really is good.
Yeah?
You have that for breakfast, your life will change forever. Protein, chia, which is really high in fiber, calcium, essential fatty acids. So we've made, how's that?
That's very good as well.
Very good?
Yeah.
Did you doubt me?
No, not for a minute.
He might have. All right, Nathan and I have made an amaranth chia pudding,
Oven-baked French toast with apple slices.
and we haven't tasted this on air, a coconut custard with kiwi and sunroot. So remember, make these at home, send us a postcard. Hi, Pixie. And we want you to eat well and be happy.